Hello students and welcome to online class of Law and Practice of Banking. So today we will be dealing in relationship between banker and the customer. Okay. The relationship between banker and the customers starts when a person opens an account in the bank. Okay, when does the relationship between banker and the customer starts? When the person, that is the customer, opens an account in the bank. Okay. The better relationship is required to conduct banking business effectively. Okay, so now when he will become the customer of the bank, when he opens the account in the bank, then only he will become the customer. Okay, this is very common for you. Okay, this relationship depends upon the good faith and mutual understanding between the banker and the customer. As you might be knowing very well, the relationship depends upon the good faith and mutual understanding between two parties. Okay, so now what are the relationship involves? Let's see here. The relationship between the banker and the customers may be divided into two types. Okay, there are two types of relationship. First one is general relationship, next is special relationship. Okay, so we'll go one by one. First we'll study general relationship. Okay, so first is general relationship. It refers to the relationship which appears to an outsider in the course of regular banking business. Okay, common relationship refers to the which appears to an outsider in the course of regular banking business. General relationship of the banker and the customer is again classified into two types. Clear? Okay, general relationship of the banker and the customer is again classified into two types. First is primary general relationship. Next one is secondary general relationship or else subsidiary general relationship. Okay, so came to know what do you mean by general relationship? It is a relationship which appear to an outsider in the course of regular banking business. Okay, this general relationship is again classified into two categories. First one is primary general relationship. Next is secondary general relationship, also known as subsidiary general relationship. Okay, so we'll go one by one. First we'll move towards primary general relationship. So first one, primary general relationship. Okay, the primary relationship between the banker and the customer is like debtor and creditor relationship. So you might be knowing about what is my debtor and what is my creditor. Okay, so it is this primary general relationship is just like debtor and creditor relationship. It starts when a person opens an account with the bank. Okay, when a person opens an account with the bank. Okay, one definition is there given by Sir John Paget. The relation of the banker and the customer is primarily that of debtor and creditor. Clear? The relation of the banker and customer is primarily that of debtor and creditor. Debtor means who owes money, creditor who has to give the money. Okay. Clear? Now, special features of debtor and creditor relationship of bankers and customer. Okay. First one, contractual relationship. It arises from contract between banker and customer. Okay, therefore it is called as contractual relationship. Both the party must fulfill their obligation. Okay, so the word says the meaning contractual. When it arises, when there is a contract between banker and the customer, then only the contractual relationship arises, and both the party must fulfill the obligation. First feature. Next feature, the demand should be made by the customer on the working days and during business hours. Clear? So demand means whenever the customer wants any cash from the bank, he has to the demand should be made by the customer on the working days and during business hours. You might be knowing very well the bank has its own working day and its business hours. Okay, working day means from Monday to Friday. Okay, or else third Saturday or fifth Saturday or first Saturday, and business hours means from 10 to 3:30. Clear? Clear? So at that time only the customer can demand from the bank. When first is on working day, next is on during business hours. Next, demand for repayment should be made in proper form. Okay, he can't go directly and ask for repayment, here too the demand should be made. The demand for repayment should be made in proper form. In which ways here? The banker does not return the deposit on the basis of oral or telephonic order. Okay, just by making a phone or by saying to give the money, the bank will never return the deposit. Okay, the demand for repayment must be in writing. Yeah, as you might be knowing very well, withdrawal slip will be provided. Okay, whenever you want to withdraw the money, or pay-in slip will be provided whenever you want to deposit the money and all. Clear? Okay, so the demand for repayment should be made in writing. Generally, the banker supply printed checks or withdrawal slips to withdraw the money. Clear? There are two types of slips, you might be knowing very well: deposit slip and withdrawal slip. Okay, apart from that, printed checks will be provided for those customers who are dealing in transactions regularly. Okay, so like this way they can demand the money through printed checks or through withdrawal slips. Okay, demand should be made at proper place. Yeah, one more thing: if a customer meets a bank servant in market, at that time he can't demand for money. Okay, the banker makes repayment only in the branch when the deposit is kept, where the deposit is kept. Okay, only when the customer comes to the bank and he requests to give his deposit by in a proper form, then only the banker can accept that request. Okay, he can't give the money at marketplace at any other area unless and until he comes in banks or in branch, then only the deposit amount is given. Okay, therefore demand for repayment should be made at the branch. Okay, it is required to verify the signature and availability of sufficient fund. Why it is made so? For two reasons is there. One is to cross verify the signature. Okay, signature means already your 3 specimen signature is taken. From that 3 specimen signature, your now written pay-in slip or withdrawal slip signature will be cross verified. And one more thing is availability of sufficient fund. Availability of sufficient fund means at that whenever you are withdrawing the fund from the bank, at that time there should be sufficient fund available. At that time only the bank can pass that slips. Clear? So because of that only the demand should be made at proper place, just to cross verify your signature and also to see that there is sufficient fund in your account. Demand is necessary for repayment of deposit. Okay, demand is necessary for repayment of deposit. The banker is not bound to repay the deposit unless it is demanded by the customer. Okay, unless and until the demand is not made by the customer, the bank is not bound to repay the deposit. Okay, the demand for repayment by customer is required. Yeah, unless and until there is no demand, the bank has no rights to repay the deposit. Okay, so today you have studied about the relationship between banker and the customer. There are two relationships: general relationship and special relationship. Next we have studied about general relationship. Then again general relationship is categorized into two categories: primary general relationship and one more is secondary general relationship. Today you have studied again in detail about primary general relationship, the meaning and definition, then features of debtor and creditor relationship. Okay, so next is about subsidiary general relationship. We'll be studying in upcoming class. Okay, so that's it for today's class. Thank you.